Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode. Today we have a new segment, local designers, and there was no better way to start with this amazing designer that I actually had a pleasure to see at the last New York Fashion Week. That was the Sustainable New York Fashion Week, which already tells you a lot. She's a very talented, creative mind, but without further ado, I introduce you to Bridgett Artise, right?
Perfect.
Okay. Hello, Bridgett. How are you?
Hello, how are you? I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. Yes, I'm so glad that we were able, really in a short time, to organize this. I had the pleasure to appreciate your works during the Sustainable New York Fashion Week, and I saw that your brand really embodies everything I would like to see in fashion. So I thought that the best way to start was with you. And this is a very specific format. We like to give the opportunity to designers to basically present their brand in a certain way. But again, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's jump into the questions. Okay, so first of all, where is the business based, and when did you start?
Well, my business is currently located in East Orange, New Jersey.
Hmm.
I started in about 2002,
Hmm.
so I'm almost pushing 20 years in this business. Originally, it was a hobby part time, and it kind of morphed into this brand that it is today.
Hmm.
I got my customer base in New York.
Hmm.
I didn't really become stable in New Jersey until 2014. So from 2002 until 2014, I was 100% New York based.
Oh,
And
okay,
yeah, so now I'm Jersey based, and that's where I'm
I
at.
see. Okay, if you want to describe your business in a nutshell, what would you say is distinctive about your brand?
Well, first off, my brand is 100% sustainable.
Hmm.
So that is my business in a nutshell. Everything that Born Again Vintage does, because Born Again Vintage kind of is the nucleus, and then from Born Again Vintage, I have House of BAV, which is the store. I have Sustainable Fashion Week, which is the platform, and then I have I teach at FIT classes that I created. So I
Hmm.
literally have a bunch of different platforms where I'm pushing sustainable fashion awareness, because that's really my objective as my brand, is really getting to the consumers and the everyday people that don't know anything about sustainable fashion. It's reaching those people that's most important to me.
Hmm. So there is a part, there is a creative laboratory, but also there is a training and educational side.
Right.
Okay. You say you're based in New Jersey now. So what do you like the most about your neighborhood?
Wow, we could be here all day talking about that. I'm in
I'm
East
pretty
Orange,
sure.
New Jersey, and which is Essex County in New Jersey, and the community has supported me in every way a community should support a small business,
Hmm. That's
and
great.
it's amazing. And because I've experienced the opposite, I know how amazing it is.
Well, that's a good way, to
Right.
assess stuff. It's like when you have,
And
one way or the
exactly.
other, is it okay?
And and the people in this community, not only the community, the people, but the community, the city officials. um,
Hmm.
I'm talking everyone has supported my store, um, and that to me really represents the neighborhood that I'm in, um, where everybody on the block has really come together, especially during times like this. And so, it's really great to be in a place where you're appreciated and supported. I mean, it makes a huge difference on a day to day.
Absolutely, and that's what really The best is an environment where you, first of all, you are allowed to, express your creativity, also your entrepreneurship, but then you definitely need the support of a community. That's when we can thrive, and it's great that you found that kind of environment.
Took a
Uh,
while.
yeah, that I'm pretty sure. Nothing just falls from the tree, and
Right.
I guess you, yeah, we know that. But at the same time, I saw that your presence on social media is great. Actually, we can see that you have Born Again Vintage.
Yep.
Then you have House of BAV, House of Bav, your initiative, Sustainable Fashion Week, and the website, of course, House of Bav, where also we can later briefly go over the designers. So very active, and but if you would point out what is the social media platform that it's more congenial to your business, which
Mhm.
one you would say it is?
Well, oddly enough, I would say for House of BAV is actually Facebook.
Hmm.
I have a lot more engagement with people who follow me on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
for House of BAV, but for every other brand, it would be Instagram.
Mm. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, it is true that you can use the different platforms in a different way. Like Instagram, can reach a certain audience, and you can also show your brand in a certain way. On Facebook, there is a different kind of engagement. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
what you try to do.
Yeah, I definitely, I use all platforms,
Hmm.
regardless of whether they're effective or not, just to get the brand out there. But, once if you stay on top of your analytics, you'll know what really works for you, and then you could kind of push on that particular platform more.
Okay, so that's great. So in terms of projects, of course, we had experienced this lockdown, but the reason why we can do this video is because we can try to plan again ahead with some activities, and we all reinvented somehow
Right.
ourselves in the digital environment. So what about the brands that you run?
Well, keyword is try.
Hmm.
So, Sustainable Fashion Week, I would say, is my most exciting upcoming project because it's pretty much a full circle event for me. Or
Hmm.
because I started by putting on talent shows for kids in my area to get scholarship money,
Uh-huh.
and so to come nearly 20 years later and then to build this platform where it's all about supporting student designers or student sustainable designers, it's exactly where I need to be, and it's definitely logical as far as my next steps in my career path. But
Hmm.
it's exciting because because the times are so uncertain, and so many
Sure.
eyes on the fashion industry, and so many eyes on ethical policies and diversity.
Mm.
I am so glad to be in a part of a project where that was a given. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't something we
A-
had to tweak. It was just something that is already happening.
Absolutely, and I can tell. I mean, Live In magazine is a lifestyle magazine. We cover the fashion widely, and if you go back to the articles what I wrote, it's not. I'm saying this because you're here, but that was the most relevant fashion show I've seen in years,
Wow.
because not only for the quality of the designers and the products, but because of the kind of conversation that was triggered within that kind of environment.
Right.
The people talking were, first of all, did you know there was something like this? And then that actually how impactful can be. And this leads to our next question, which is what would you say is the impact of your business in your community?
I would say, pivotal,
Mm.
and the reason why, because sustainability, definitely there's so many myths and misconceptions about it. So, to be able to be this steady platform in this community to provide the information and the education on what it really is
Yeah.
that it's not so hard to get and it's not that expensive, and we've been doing it all along. People don't even know this.
Hmm.
So, I'm glad to be able to be that stationary form of, like I said, education and support for people who want to make that transition to sustainable.
It's absolutely, it's so important that there is a place where you can actually get to do, if you believe in certain values, you can actually go to a place with a person with the expertise and the tools to show you how to actually do it. That is absolutely fundamental. In this, I'm pretty sure that you work hard and you receive a lot of compliments, but what is the best compliment that you have received from a customer?
Uh, well, personally, I would say the best compliment I received was that I'm inspiring.
Hmm.
Especially when you're not trying, and if you could invoke that type of energy from someone, that's amazing. As a brand, I would probably say I've been called futuristic a lot, so I think that's
Hmm.
amazing because that means that I'm ahead.
Absolutely, yeah, I can confirm that. When I saw your show and the whole initiative of sustainable fashion week, that was clear. When you feel is the moment that this is where we're going, but here, you know, uh, you know, you are, at the edge of it. And so. In order to move to our last point, I always like to address this is that we are special in our own way, and that's what makes us better, right? So, what is that you would say is special about your brand?
Huh, okay. What's special about my brand? Okay, so as you definitely displayed to everyone, there's about four brands under me.
Hmm.
To try to pull that together. Well, that would make me special right there.
Hmm.
But I would say definitely the fact that it's really more about connections with
Hmm.
my brand and not about being on trend or being popular or classism or anything else. It's really about bringing people together with one common goal to be able to achieve it and to learn at the same time. So
Hmm.
for me, it's really all about people having fun at the same time as they're getting information. So you don't even know that you're learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Wow, that is great. Yeah.
then
That's a great way to put it because I can relate to that a lot, Bridget, because again, it's not easy to really do in your life what you like, but if you can achieve that, you really, even if you work harder than anybody else, you feel you're not doing like a day of job. It's like that it's really your life, your passions, your job is one thing. So, Bridget, we did pretty well. We considering the amount of information that we had to share, we did great. I'm very proud of you. So, if people wanna find you, the best way, which would be the best way?
I would say the best way to contact me would probably be through the House of BAV website or
Hmm.
the Born Again Vintage website.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah.
way, the contact goes to me, and
Hmm.
so they'll be able, or Instagram. I mean, there's so many ways to
Yeah,
contact me.
there's so many ways.
You
Here again,
Mhm.
you can see Born Again Vintage is on and that's also the tag for on Instagram as well as for also BAV. Then you can check also the initiative and the project on Sustainable Fashion Week. Here, the tag is Sustainable Fashion Week UK, and of course, the website House of Bav. That is as you spell it. So it's HOUSEOFBAV.com. Of course, you're going to find all the links. to this website and Instagram in the description of these videos. And Bridget, I can thank you enough for doing this. It was a pleasure having you, and really great projects. So I'm so glad that we were able to do this. And
Thank you.
kudos to your initiatives.
Yeah, I appreciate the support and getting to talk about what I do. Thank you, Roberta, who said nice job. And, I look forward to hearing from anyone who reaches out who wants to know more.
Absolutely. So I want to thank you again, and here, Bridget, in particular, if we can indulge a little bit on the House of Bav, as you said, on the website, people can get to see better, the range of activities that you do. Here, in particular, the section of the designers that are featured over here. Um, what is in particular that you look for these designers, and maybe if you can explain a little bit the Born Again Vintage, what is about, because this is specifically what I found that was great. And looking at the fashion show, the runway show during the New York Fashion Week, it was really amazing to see what you can do with vintage clothes. So, what is specifically Born Again Vintage, the initiative, and then we can go over a little bit the designers.
Okay. Born Again Vintage, what makes it 100% sustainable is that I chop up vintage clothing to make new clothing. My business about 6 months ago was able to go to stop thrifting altogether for my resources and materials, and now all of my pieces are made from donations, so I don't even buy any pieces anymore. And that's where I transitioned to. I was already 100%, but now maybe I'm 150.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't shop anymore for my pieces. All my pieces are donated because so many people know what I do. So I get lots of donations. And if I don't use them for pieces that I recycle or upcycle, then they're used for my workshop. And if they're not used for my workshops, then they're used for causes or to charities that I know that actually need the clothing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
that's what makes my brand sustainable, and that's so everything is one off and everything is different, and it's no two pieces of anything.
That's a great point, actually, Bridget, because especially for young designers, that is a way that I found it's amazing that looking at creative people, that you actually can use what is already there, and you can deconstruct it, reconstruct it. So you actually is the manufacturing process. It's easy. It's not easier. It's different. But basically, you can focus on the design, but you have already a pattern, and you can use your creativity to mix and mash that up. So if you really want to start and you want to unleash your creativity, actually is a challenge, because when you start from scratch, somehow you build it already,
Right.
to your comfort. But here you already have something. You have to deconstruct it, reconstruct it, and do something that is fashionable. And if you look at the image on Instagram, many of the clothes here that are featured, you would never tell that these are made from other clothes and then reconstructed together, because they look great. And again, this is especially for young designers. If now the industry is a little bit disrupted in terms of supply chain and supplies in general, this is a great way that you can actually start. There is already a platform. There is a lab where you can go to, and again, this is not at all a limitation to your creativity. As a matter of fact, you can embrace it as a challenge, and show what are you made of. Am I right?
Well, one of my favorite quotes from myself
Mhm.
is that is that upcycling has no rules, only options. And that's 100%
Yeah.
the case. With upcycling, it's really based on your creativity. It has nothing to do with, the restrictions of a regular garment.
Hmm.
And also, I wanted to say something in regards to the recycling aspect. I remember when I first started and when I wrote my business proposal and I was looking for funding, it's so crazy to think that when I pitched it, people didn't think we had enough clothes to do what I do. And they
Wow,
said,
that's
"I don't
amazing.
think you'll run out." And I was like, and that just really solidified that we really don't know.
Don't know.
We
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah, there is so much waste
so much.
that the what you said right there is that you are not even aware. And what we should do is just look at our closet. If
Yes.
we each one of us look at your closet, you realize how much stuff you have that you're not actually not using and could have a better use. Uh,
Right.
but
People sitting at home for 3 months and looking at the all the stuff around them that probably started to get closer and closer and
yeah.
combine them. I'm sure there were a lot of people that changed their shopping mentality during
Hmm.
this pandemic.
Absolutely, that's actually a change that I'm all for it, because I think it was very important what Giorgio Armani did when he published the letter where he confessed. He said right away. He said, "I'm a designer. I'm a fashion designer. I make clothes, dresses." And for me, I had to jump on that wagon of, seeking for extreme profits in order to make enough money to pay for these systems of super expensive fashion shows around the world, sacrificing quality, sacrificing creativity. And he said that was wrong. I never liked it. If we actually can go back to what our role was, would be much better. I think that, of course, Giorgio Armani is great. He's my favorite, but he's also very bold, and he really set the tone for a new conversation, a different conversation.
Well,
Can you relate to those words?
yeah, well, I was going to say thanks for the segue because that was one of the main points about Sustainable Fashion Week. Um, Being in this industry this long and being invited to all these different shows, most shows you can't even be a part of for under, $10,000. So, how does the emerging sustainable designer get to be seen if that's what the price is out the gate? So, with
Absolutely.
Sustainable Fashion Week, it's a flat fee for anyone involved, so it kind of removes that whole exclusivity that is attached to Fashion Week, and it's just about talent and creating and connection.
Absolutely. Now, of course, there is for major fashion brands, they didn't have to go that way, but they
Right.
decided to go that way anyway. So, but again, if it's genuine or not, I think it's genuine. I actually had the privilege of meeting Giorgio Armani, and I know that it comes from from a good place in his heart. And then after him, Versace, Gucci, they said the same. And again, I think it's important because, as you said, otherwise there is a threshold for emerging designers that it's too hard to go through that. And now, when it comes to the brands in particular that that you feature or that join House of Bav, can you tell us a little bit about House of Bav initiative?
Well, there are three elements to it. You
Hmm.
either have to be sustainable, and I think because that word is just so widely used,
Yeah.
um, and actually widely used, and then not actually applicable for a lot of people, but they use it anyway. So you have to make a ethical decisions on how you're making your clothes or
Hmm.
your product, and that has to be a given. The other aspect is handmade. So
Hmm.
if you're
Okay.
handmade and you're sitting here making it yourself, you're sustainable already, And then
Yes.
there's your local, because it would be counterproductive to have this initiative and this brand in the community, and then you're not supporting local
Hmm.
artists. So
I
it's
see.
local, handmade, and sustainable.
Wow, that's great requirements. Absolutely. So, well, now you know what you need to join the family of House of Bav. And again, I just want to read a comment here. We have Roberta saying, true, there are always something that we never want to ready of it. With these ideas, you can wear in a different style. Yeah. It's true, and yes, Armani indeed confessed how expensive and waste is in this business. Yeah, it's true. It's yeah, again, whatever triggers a positive change, we
Right.
have to embrace it and not look at the past and trying to look at the future because this is how can we improve the world we live in. And fortunately, we have people like you, Bridget, so committed in an industry that is always so competitive, very tough. The past months have been tough for all of us. But again, there is always a reason to look at the future in a positive way. We can embrace that change. We can embrace that force for good. And again, to the fact that you provide a place for people to do that, and the fact that you are willing to share your knowledge, that I can imagine anything that again, I understand why people say you are so inspiring. It's easy to get it. Anyway, Bridget, thank you again so much for being here. I wish you best of luck. And of course, I can't wait for the next show. If it's going to be physical, it's going to be virtual. I'm going to cover it anyway. And please keep us posted. Okay.
Absolutely.
We want to know what you do. Okay.
I appreciate it, Joseph. Really have a good week. We have a
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Bridget.
thank you.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.